You open your eyes, and it's 1962. You're 24 years old. You're a runner, the kind who needs the road before the sun's even up. And this morning, lacing up in the cold, you can't shake one ridiculous thought. You wrote a paper at business school with a stupid question buried in it. Could cheap, well-made Japanese running shoes do to Germany what Japanese cameras already did to German cameras? Wipe them off the map? Everyone who read it politely nodded and forgot it. But you can't forget it. Your dad has a word for thoughts like this. He calls it your crazy idea. He wants you to get a real job, a real desk, a real life. So here's the question that's going to run you for the next 18 years. Can a nobody with a crazy idea and almost no money actually build something? Or does the idea slowly crush the man who had it? You decide there's only one way to find out. You borrow little money from your dad, and you fly off to see the world. Hawaii, Japan, Hong Kong, Egypt, Greece. You're 24, you're terrified, and you're chasing a thesis nobody else believes in. And in Kobe, Japan, you walk into a room full of executives from a shoe company called Onitsuka. They make a running shoe called Tiger. You pick one up, and it's good, and it's cheap, and your heart starts pounding. Then they ask the question you didn't prepare for. And who do you represent? You have no company. You have no money. You have a college paper your own professor barely remembers. But you are not about to say that out loud. Your eyes flick to a memory, the wall of blue ribbons you won as a kid, the ones you're still weirdly proud of. So you hear your own voice say it. Gentlemen, I represent Blue Ribbon Sports of Portland, Oregon. And somehow they believe you. You walk out of that room with the rights to sell Tiger shoes across the western United States. You just bluffed your way into a business. But here's the first thing they don't tell you about building something. It's mostly waiting. Your sample shoes are supposed to ship from Japan, and they don't come. Weeks pass, months pass. You're back home, you've told people you have a shoe company, and you have no shoes. More than a year goes by before a single box finally lands on your doorstep. And the first thing you do isn't celebrate. You mail a couple of pairs straight to the one man whose opinion you actually trust. Your old college track coach, Bill Bowerman. This is the man who used to steal your race shoes and tear them apart, hunting for a way to make them 1 ounce lighter. You expect him to say, "Nice shoes." Instead, he says something that changes your life. He wants in, he wants to be your partner, so he can get his hands on these things and start improving them. Your coach just became your co-founder, so you don't go to a bank for the money. He puts in $500. You put in $500. That's the entire company. Your first real order arrives, 300 pairs of Japanese shoes. And you still don't have a store, so you load them into the trunk of a green Plymouth Valiant. You keep your accounting day job to pay the bills. And on nights and weekends, you drive to track meets all over the Pacific Northwest. You sell shoes to runners out of your car, one sweaty pair at a time. Here's the strange part. They sell, runners try them, they love them, they tell other runners. That first year, out of a car trunk, you move about $8,000 of shoes. But here's the trap nobody warned you about. The faster you grow, the more shoes you have to buy up front. So every dollar you make goes straight back into the next bigger order. You're doubling your sales every single year, and you are dead broke every single year. You sit across from your banker, and he looks at your growth like it's a disease. "Mr. Knight, you need to slow down. We want to see equity. We want cash in the bank. We want safety." But you don't want safety. You want to grow. Good thing you're not alone. You hire your first full-time employee, a runner named Jeff Johnson. He's a beautiful fanatic. He writes handwritten letters to customers, builds a mailing list, keeps files on runners like their family. In 1966, he opens your very first real store in Santa Monica, California. And it doesn't feel like a shop. It feels like a church for people who love to run. Your team is not exactly Wall Street. It's a broke accountant, a couple of ex-athletes with bad knees, a guy who can barely stand, all of them a little bit obsessed. Everyone with a real career thinks you've lost your mind. But these misfits believe the crazy idea, and for a while that belief is the only thing holding the whole thing together. And that's exactly when the floor drops out. Your Japanese supplier, the whole reason you exist, decides they don't need a middleman anymore. They start quietly shopping for other American distributors behind your back. They basically move to erase you. The company you bluffed your way into could end the company you built. So you make the most dangerous decision of your life. You're going to stop selling someone else's shoes. You're going to make your own. But a shoe company needs a name. Jeff, your fanatic, says the name came to him in a dream. Nike, the Greek goddess of victory. And you need a logo, so you hire a design student named Carolyn Davidson. She draws a little curved check mark, a swoosh, and you pay her $35 for it. You look at it, and honestly, you shrug. You tell her, I don't love it, but it'll grow on me. Meanwhile, your coach is in his kitchen one Sunday. He pours liquid rubber into his wife's waffle iron just to see what happens. What comes out is a sole full of grippy little squares. A waffle sole. It's going to grip the road better than anything on the market. Then comes the day you find out if any of this was real. 1972, the U.S. Olympic Trials in Eugene, Oregon. Your first shoes with your own name and your own swoosh on the feet of actual runners in front of actual crowds. Some of the best runners in the country cross that finish line wearing your shoes. And people in the stands start asking a brand new question. What are those? One of those early models, the Cortez, becomes a hit. For the first time, you're not a middleman for somebody else's dream. You're a brand. And around this time, you meet the runner who becomes the soul of the whole thing. His name is Steve Prefontaine. He runs for your coach at Oregon, and he runs like the race personally offended him. He doesn't pace himself. He doesn't play it safe. He goes to the front and dares the world to keep up. He'll hold every American record from 2,000 to 10,000 meters. And in 1974, he becomes the first real athlete to sign with Nike. He isn't just wearing your shoes. He is your crazy idea. In human form, the guy who refuses to quit, who'd rather burn out at the front than coast in the back. For a couple of years, it feels like the universe is finally on your side, which is exactly when 1975 tries to end you. You owe your Japanese trading partner a fortune you cannot pay. You are about $75,000 short. So you do something desperate. You drain every account in every store you own just to send them the money. And then your own employees' paychecks bounce. The misfits who believed in your crazy idea can't cash their pay. Your bank in California calls and officially cuts you off. And that same night, on that same call, you hear the words that stop your heart. The FBI is investigating you for fraud. 13 years of running on no sleep, out of a car, against every banker who told you no, and the reward might be a federal investigation and the end of everything. This is the moment the crazy idea finally crushes the man. And then, in the middle of all of it, the phone rings again. It's about Pre. Just after midnight, driving home on a narrow road in Eugene, he lost control of his car. Steve Prefontaine is dead. He's 24 years old. The runner who never held anything back, gone in a heartbeat. And you're standing there, your company collapsing in one hand and your friend gone from the other. And for the first time, you have no idea if any of it was worth it. But there's one group that doesn't look at your bounced checks. Your Japanese trading company, Niso, sends people to dig through your books. They find a mess. They also find something the banks never bothered to see. They look past today's disaster at where all of this is actually going. And they decide to bet on you. They step in and pay off the bank. You survive. Barely. By the skin of your teeth and somebody else's faith. And somewhere in the wreckage of that year, it finally hits you. This was never really about shoes. It was never about the money, because there never was any money. Every banker offered you the safe road, and every single time you refused it. Not because you were brave, because you were a runner. And a runner, a real one, the kind Pre was, does exactly one thing when his legs scream and his lungs burn. He doesn't stop. That's the whole secret. There was no master plan. There was a guy who refused to slow down, surrounded by misfits who refused to slow down with him. And you built the rest of your life on that one refusal? So we get to December 1980. The company you invented out of thin air in a room in Japan goes public. And in a single afternoon, on paper, you are worth $178 million. The nobody with the crazy idea. The kid selling shoes out of his trunk. But here's the thing they don't put on the stock ticker. You'd trade the whole number, every dollar of it, for one more clean lap at dawn. Cold air, empty road, Pre somewhere up ahead, daring you to keep up. Because that's all this ever was.